Djibouti, at a crossroads of Africa and Arabia. But where did this unique name come from? To understand its story, we must first look at the land itself. Situated on the Horn of Africa, this small nation holds a position of immense importance. It guards the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a narrow waterway that connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. This is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, a vital artery for global trade. For centuries, ships carrying precious goods and powerful ideas have sailed these waters, making Djibouti a meeting point of cultures, empires and economies. Its location has shaped its history and its destiny. The landscape here is one of dramatic and stark beauty. It is a place of extremes where ancient volcanic plains stretch out under a powerful sun, and vast salt lakes shimmer in the heat. The deep blue of the sea contrasts sharply with the arid, earthy tones of the land. This terrain has forged the character of its people, the Afar and the Somali Isa, who have called this region home for countless generations. They are resilient and resourceful, having adapted to a challenging environment. Their deep connection to this land is woven into the very fabric of their culture, their traditions, and most importantly, their stories. This small nation, though modest in size, plays a remarkable role on the world stage. Its stability in an often turbulent region makes it a crucial partner for many countries. Great powers from across the globe have established military bases here, a testament to its strategic value. But beyond the geopolitics and the shipping lanes lies a rich cultural tapestry. It is a place where African and Arabian influences blend seamlessly, creating a unique identity. The food, the music, the languages spoken on the streets all tell a story of connection and exchange, and the name Djibouti itself is a product of this incredible history. Before we delve into legends and historical records, it is vital to appreciate this context. The name is not just a label on a map, it is a reflection of the land and its people. It holds the memories of nomadic journeys, the heat of the volcanic earth, and the echoes of different languages spoken by traders sailing through its ports. To ask why it's called Djibouti is to ask about the soul of the nation itself. It is a journey that will take us back in time, through the oral traditions of its earliest inhabitants and along the trade routes that first connected this corner of Africa to the wider world. Long before maps were drawn by European cartographers, the story of this land was passed down through generations. It was told not in books, but in songs, poems, and spoken tales around evening fires. For the Afar and Somali peoples, oral tradition is the library of their history, a sacred vessel carrying the wisdom of their ancestors. The origins of the name Djibouti are rooted in these ancient narratives, and like many old legends, there isn't just one single story. Instead, we find several beautiful and compelling explanations, each offering a unique window into how these nomadic cultures perceived the world around them and their place within it. These stories are more than simple explanations. They are deeply connected to the everyday lives of the people who first told them. Nomadic pastoralists, who moved with their herds in search of water and grazing land, saw the world in practical terms. A landmark was not just a feature on the horizon, it was a guide, a source of sustenance, or a place of shelter. The names they gave to places were descriptive, often reflecting a key characteristic of the landscape or a significant event that happened there. The name Djibouti emerges from this rich tradition of storytelling where the natural world and human experience are intricately linked. One must imagine the landscape as they saw it, the vast open spaces, the shimmering heat haze on the horizon, the constant search for life-sustaining resources. In this context, a name was a powerful tool. It was a piece of shared knowledge, a mental map that allowed communities to navigate and survive in a demanding environment. The stories behind the name Djibouti speak of this intimate relationship with the land. They are not grand tales of gods and monsters, but rather grounded observations about the earth, the sky, and the simple objects that defined their existence. It is a testament to their keen sense of observation and their ability to find meaning in their surroundings. As we explore these different oral histories from both the Afar and the Somali people, we begin to see a fascinating picture emerge. Each story provides a different piece of the puzzle. One might speak of the shape of the land, another of its searing heat, Together they do not contradict each other, but rather enrich our understanding. They show us that the name Djibouti was not born from a single moment or a single idea, but evolved from the collective experiences of the diverse peoples who have long inhabited this remarkable crossroads of the Horn of Africa. Among the Afar people, a nomadic community with a history stretching back millennia, one of the most charming stories about the name's origin centers on a simple, everyday object, a plate. The tale speaks of a gabuti, which in the Afar language refers to a type of woven palm leaf mat or plate used for serving food. According to the legend, the landscape around the Gulf of Tajura, with its flat circular plains and surrounding hills, reminded the early nomads of this essential household item. They saw the land itself as a giant gabuti, a platter offered up by the earth. This connection is wonderfully poetic and deeply practical. This story reveals so much about the Afar way of life. For a nomadic people, possessions were few and had to be functional. The gabuti was not just a plate, it was a symbol of sustenance, community and hospitality. It was the centerpiece of a shared meal, a moment of rest and nourishment after a long day's journey with their herds. To see the land in the shape of this object was to see it as a place of provision, a place that could sustain them. The name, therefore, was not just a geographical label, but an expression of hope and gratitude towards the environment that supported them. The legend paints a vivid picture. One can almost see the Afar nomads resting their camels and gazing out over the plains. They would observe the way the land was cupped, holding the precious waters of the Gulf, much like their gabuti held their daily meal of dates and milk. This simple, elegant comparison shows a profound connection to their surroundings. It is an example of how human culture and the natural world can become intertwined, with one inspiring the other. The name Gabuti, born from this observation, became a way of making this vast and sometimes intimidating landscape feel familiar and benevolent, like a part of their own home. Over time, as different peoples passed through the region, this original Afar word would begin to change. The sounds would be subtly altered, adapted to fit the tongues of new arrivals. But the root of the name, according to this beautiful legend, lies here in the simple and humble Gabuti. It is a reminder that the grand names on our modern maps often have very modest beginnings, rooted in the daily lives and keen observations of the people who first walked the land. The story of the Gabuti is a tribute to the Afar people's ingenuity and their deep poetic understanding of their homeland. The Somali people, especially the Isa clan, who are quite prominent in Djibouti, offer another powerful explanation for the nation's name. Their story, you see, isn't one of gentle plains that look like a plate, but rather one of immense power and elemental force. According to this tradition, the name comes from the phrase gab, a gub, which can be translated as the land is burnt or simply burnt land. This interpretation is born directly from the dramatic and volatile geology of the region. Djibouti is part of the Great Rift Valley, a place where the Earth's crust is literally being torn apart, creating a landscape of volcanoes, lava fields, and geothermal hot springs. Anyone who has traveled through Djibouti can honestly immediately understand the resonance of this name. The sun here can be incredibly intense, beating down on the dark volcanic rock and creating a shimmering, heated atmosphere. The plains around Lake Assal, which is one of the lowest and hottest points on the African continent, feel truly primordial. It's a landscape that looks as though it was forged in fire only yesterday. The name Burnt Land isn't really an exaggeration, it's an accurate and evocative description of the environment. It speaks to a land of harsh beauty, a place of extreme heat and geological activity that has shaped life here for eons. This theory connects the name directly to the physical experience of living in this environment. For the Somali nomads, the burnt land was a reality they navigated every single day. They understood its challenges, the scarcity of water, the intense heat, but they also understood its unique character. The name reflects a deep respect for the power of nature. It's a recognition of the formidable forces that created their homeland. This story is less about a single object and more about an all-encompassing sensory experience, the feeling of the hot ground underfoot and the sight of the sun-baked earth stretching to the horizon. Just like the Afar legend, this Somali oral tradition provides a compelling piece of the puzzle. It highlights a different yet equally valid perspective on the land. While the Afar story focuses on the shape and potential for sustenance, the Somali tale emphasizes the land's elemental nature and its fiery origins. Both stories are true in their own way, reflecting the complex and multifaceted character of Djibouti's landscape. They show how two different cultures, living side by side, could look at the same region and find different yet equally profound meanings to anchor their sense of place and identity. For centuries, the coast of what we now call Djibouti was a vital stop for mariners navigating the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. Arab traders, in particular, played a crucial role in the region's history, bringing with them their faith, their goods, and their language. As they established trading posts along the coast, they encountered the local Afar and Somali names for the area. It's during this period of intense cultural exchange that the name Djibouti, or Gab, a gub, began its transformation. The Arabic language has its own distinct phonetic rules, and foreign words are often adapted to fit more comfortably on an Arabic-speaking tongue. These traders, hearing the local names, would have repeated them with their own accent and linguistic patterns. The soft G sound at the beginning of Djibouti likely hardened into the DJ sound, common in Arabic. The vowels may have shifted as well, as the name was passed from sailor to merchant, from port to port. This wasn't a formal process, but a natural evolution of language. A name spoken by an Afar nomad in the interior would sound different when recorded in the logbook of an Arab dhow. This gradual change is a classic example of how trade routes are also really routes of linguistic transformation. The name, now closer to Djibouti, became established in the wider trading world of the Indian Ocean. It appeared on maps and in commercial records, solidifying its place as the designation for this specific port and its surrounding territory. This version of the name carried with it the influence of centuries of maritime trade and cultural fusion. It was no longer just an Afar or Somali word. It had become an international term recognized by sailors from Yemen, Persia, India, and beyond. The name itself became a product of the very crossroads it described, blending indigenous roots with a globalized mercantile influence. Then came the age of European colonialism, and with it, another layer of linguistic change. In the late 19th century, the French arrived and established a protectorate recognizing the strategic importance of the port. They in turn heard the name as it was used by the Arab and local traders. French orthography, with its own unique spelling rules, was used to write down what they heard. The spelling Djibouti was the French attempt to capture the sound of the name. It was this version, formalized in colonial documents and on official maps, that would ultimately become the standard spelling recognized around the world. The modern city of Djibouti was founded by the French in 1888. They chose this location for its natural deep-water harbor and its strategic position near the entrance to the Red Sea. The city was meticulously planned to serve as the administrative and commercial heart of the new colony, which was then known as French Somaliland. As the port grew, so did its importance. A railway was built connecting it to Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia, turning Djibouti into the primary maritime gateway for the entire Ethiopian empire. This really cemented the city's role as the undisputed economic engine of the region. The city of Djibouti quickly became synonymous with the entire territory. While the colony was officially called French Somaliland, people around the world, sailors, merchants and diplomats, often referred to the place simply as Djibouti, naming the whole after its most important part. The port was the primary point of contact for anyone arriving by sea, and its name became a convenient shorthand for the entire French colony on the Horn of Africa. This is actually a common phenomenon in history, where a capital city or a major port lends its name to the larger country it represents. For decades, the name of the city and the name of the colony existed side by side. But as the 20th century progressed and movements for independence swept across Africa, the people of the territory began to forge a new national identity. They were not just French subjects, they were Afars and Somalis with their own rich history. When the moment came to choose a name for their new independent nation, the choice was a natural one. The name Djibouti had already gained international recognition and was intrinsically linked to the economic and political heart of their land. On June 27, 1977, French Somaliland gained its independence and was officially reborn as the Republic of Djibouti. The adoption of this name was a significant moment. It symbolized the central role of the port city in uniting the diverse regions and peoples of the new country. The name that had evolved from ancient nomadic legends, been shaped by Arab traders and formalized by French colonizers, now belonged to a sovereign African nation. It represented a break from the colonial past and the beginning of a new chapter where the people of Djibouti would define their own future under a name that was uniquely their own. Today, the name Djibouti means much more to its people than just a geographical location. It's a powerful symbol of national identity and pride. In a country that is home to two major ethnic groups, the Afar and the Somali, the name serves as a unifying force. Because its origins can be traced to legends from both cultures, it belongs to everyone. It is not an Afar name or a Somali name, it is a Djiboutian name. This shared ownership helps to foster a sense of common heritage and a collective identity, binding the nation together. The name itself is a testament to the peaceful coexistence that characterizes modern Djibouti. The name also perfectly encapsulates the nation's character, a blend of ancient tradition and modern reality. The stories of the Djibouti Plate and the burnt land connect Djiboutians to their nomadic roots and the timeless landscape of their ancestors. These tales are still shared, keeping cultural memory alive. At the same time, the name is known globally because of the modern, strategic port city. It represents Djibouti's role in the contemporary world, a stable hub for international trade, logistics, and security. The name bridges the past and the present, honoring heritage while embracing the future. For Djiboutians, saying the name of their country is an expression of their unique place in the world. It speaks of resilience, born from a harsh and beautiful land. It speaks of connection, born from centuries of being a crossroads for different peoples and cultures. It speaks of independence, won in 1977, and the journey of nation-building that has followed. The name carries the weight of history, but it's also light with the promise of tomorrow. It's a source of pride seen in the waving flags heard in the national anthem and felt in the hearts of its citizens, both at home and abroad. From an ancient observation about the shape of the land to the official title of a sovereign state, the journey of the name Djibouti is a remarkable story in itself. It reflects the very essence of the nation. A fusion of cultures, a bridge between continents, and a land where ancient legends live on in the spirit of a modern, forward-looking people. The name is a perfect mirror for the country it represents, small in size but rich in meaning and vast in importance. If this story gave you new insight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which country's name should we uncover next? Drop your suggestion below.